You want to know how to control food cravings? You have cravings for carbohydrates, you're starting to realize and begin engaging in an ancestrally accurate, biologically appropriate, species specific diet, which is realizing that we are an obligate hypercarnivore, that we are designed to derive all of the nutrients that we require exclusively from the meat and fat of animals. But you crave muffins, side iron bagels at the grocery store, you want to have toast all day long. Mashed potatoes, oh, creamy mashed potatoes. You're starting to think about all these things and starting to obsess over them, and they're starting to control every thought that you have all day long. And you want to be able to squash those food cravings. One really simple solution to that, and it's something that I've been doing for like 8 years. It started with alcohol addiction, and then it really quickly transitioned into carbohydrate addiction and managing our cravings for carbohydrates, inappropriate carbohydrates from plant foods. It's very simple. You eat 3 meals a day and you eat food. Food is a substance that we derive nutrition from. That is the meat and fat of animals. And so your meals, as long as they're from an animal, it is okay. Meat and fat. And you wake up in the morning before your coffee, before water, before anything passes your lips. You have the biggest, fattest meal, and you eat until you're so full that you cannot imagine eating another bite. And then you have three more, three more. And then you do the same thing at noon. And then you do the same thing at dinner time. And guaranteed, of all of the people that we work with the next day, you're probably not even going to want to eat at all. It's kind of a horrible experience. But so is eating a donut. So is eating a muffin and toast. And so are creamy mashed potatoes. It is a terrible experience, though, it might feel good in our brains, in our bodies. It's absolutely devastating. And so this technique I've actually been utilizing for 8 years in the treatment of alcoholism. It started out with a woman who was exclusively breastfeeding her son, her son was covered in such bad eczema, he just looked like a big bloody lizard. And she began eating an exclusively carnivorous diet, and in 3 days you couldn't even tell that kid ever had eczema before. She had a brand new son and that she's never been able to experience before. And she was also a diabetic. She was morbidly obese, and she was a raging alcoholic. So 3 months later, when her diagnosis of diabetes was removed, she realized over the course of that 3 months, every time she slips up, she has a cake, she has a pickle, she has a sandwich, her son's eczema comes back. And that experience is devastating enough for her to completely abstain from carbohydrates of any source. And so she realizes after 3 months that her diagnosis of diabetes is removed, her average blood sugar over the past 3 months going from 18 down to 5.5, right on the dot, exactly where it needs to be. Diabetes is gone. Almost 100 pounds of adiposity, of fat, is gone. And also her alcoholism after 3 days was controlled. She didn't want to drink. That was a kind of a consequence to this protocol is it was for her son and for her son's eczema. And the more meat that she ate, the less alcohol that she could allow herself to drink. She went from 25 drinks a day down to 6 after day 1. And day 2, she went down to 4 drinks. Day 3, 3 drinks, and until there was none. In the first week of experiencing this protocol, realizing the more meat that she ate, the less cravings that she had, the more nutrient stores were satisfied, the further away these cravings of alcohol were, until, after a week, they were completely gone, and she considered herself sober. Really, really incredible procedure, protocol to controlling and managing cravings is to take advantage of this 4.5 million year evolution of being an obligate hypercarnivore for the last 350,000 years, listening to the ancestral protocol, our diet, and saying, well, this is where I'm designed to derive nutrition from. I've been eating too much plants my whole life, full of anti-nutrients, acting like a nutrient absorption, preventing nutrient absorption, and acting like a nutrient sink and removing essential nutrients from our body, like fiber, phytic acid, tannins, and lectins, and all these terrible things that are found inside of plant foods, with all of those anti-nutrients and all of these nutrient prevention, nutrient absorption poisons removed from our system. And we're eating the food that we're designed to derive all the nutrition that we require to fully function as a species, the meat and fat of animals. We are satisfying all of our nutrient stores. We're hacking satiety, so everything is satisfied and there's no void to fill, and we actually become full. Depse, we're actually completely satisfied. So benzos, alcohol, chronic cannabis use, even nicotine. How much cigarettes can you smoke when you're fully satiated? It's crazy to think about all of these incredible things that you can utilize this technique, for alcohol, but also for carbohydrate addiction, which I think is the nastiest and most destructive, clinically destructive addiction that we could ever have. And carbohydrates is something that we could get anywhere from any store at any age. It is not controlled, and it's not valued as destructive addiction. And so hopefully this kind of helps us navigate the idea of carbohydrate addiction and what we can do about it, and give us a tool that we can be utilizing to control food cravings. If it's from an animal, it's okay. Eat three times a day and eat as much as you can, plus 3 more bites. And the very next day, you're not even going to want to think about eating a donut, a bagel, a muffin, toast, mashed potatoes, creamy mashed potatoes. Nah, chumigach. Bam, peace.